We don't see any action from the tower behind me, the 9th floor, the governor. And then we're hit with the news that even though the governor said that we needed to accept a 0.4% raise for our teachers. That's all we were going to be able to give for our teachers. Then to see him hand out 10, 15, 20% raises for his inner circle, it's outrageous. It's demeaning, and it shows a lack of leadership and decisiveness on the part of the governor. We demand that the governor match those raises with our teachers right now. In the teaching crisis, let's have a 20% raise come in this year's budget for all of our teachers in the state. Let's end the teacher crisis, and let's make sure that we have people that graduate from our schools, that want to teach in our schools, are able to teach in our schools. That's going to end the teaching crisis. It's going to make sure every kid in this state has a highly qualified, engaging teacher in the classroom that stays in Arizona.
These teachers and their supporters say they mean business when it comes to getting the salary and classroom funding they feel they deserve.
Breaking news, Arizona teachers voting to walk out of their classrooms. It's a historic move here in Arizona.
If we don't stand up today for our kids, who will?
In Arizona, teacher walkouts that already shut down entire school districts last week now expected to stretch into Monday. Education funding there slashed by more than $4.5 billion. You can feel it and hear it in the streets. They want respect.
We deserve better, our students deserve better, and our future deserves better.
Hello, Arizona! I have to tell you how beautiful you look in red, how immaculate your signs are. If I had a rubric, you would all get a 5. And I think it is fantastic that you all got the memo. You're in the red shirts, we're spreading it around. No one thought we could do this yesterday. Arizona, I cannot tell you how proud I am to be an educator right now. I cannot tell you how amazing yesterday was. And I cannot tell you how much I am waiting for Monday so we can show how powerfully we want this for our students. Thank you so very much for being here. We can do this. We can do this.
The statewide teacher walkout comes to an end on day 6 with a final Red for Ed rally at the state capitol. Early this morning, Governor Doug Ducey signing the new budget bill, saying this teacher raise is earned and well-deserved.
And with that, he signed it into law. Here's part of what's included in the plan for education funding, nearly $645 million for teacher pay raises.
AEA President Joe Thomas says now the attention turns to a ballot initiative raising taxes on the wealthy to support funding.
They see that they have a legislature that won't work with them and their students. They see that they have a governor that won't work with them and their students. And I think they're going to be looking for change in leadership in 2018.
As Puerto Rico continues its recovery, teachers on the island, they're on strike, calling for a work stoppage and demonstration over education reforms. Reforms critics say could be bad for kids. Gabi Acevedo from our San Juan Bureau was there as those teachers made their voices heard.
It's important to be here because we are defending the education of the students and the children of Puerto Rico.
Teachers and their unions challenging school reform. Thousands called for a strike today in opposition of what they say is a lack of transparency as the government plans to revamp the island's public schools.
Charter schools are designed to impoverish the traditional public schools. Charter schools will be allocated more resources. They'll have the prerogative to select which students are going to attend those schools.
Puerto Rico, after Hurricane Maria, parents can afford probably a good school.
Most people in attendance here today are teachers and public school officials. They believe that parents should also feel part of the process and included in the discussion of education reform, since repercussions affect their children.
We are facing the biggest attack on the public sectors in our country. And immediately after the hurricane, you see Betsy DeVos, Secretary of Education of the U.S., next to our Secretary of Education, saying that this hurricane gave them the opportunity of a lifetime to make the reform that they were not able to do before. And they were trying to convert Puerto Rico into New Orleans of the decade.
Puerto Rico's governor says he wants to create charter schools as part of a plan to overhaul the debt-ridden island's public school system.
The policy to close or combine schools started before Hurricane Maria. It was part of an austerity package imposed on the island to counter its debt. Evi Morales, head of the teachers union, was arrested with other teachers as they broke into the education department in December to try to speak with Secretary Kelleher. The U.S. appointed Secretary of Education in Puerto Rico, Julia Kelleher, anticipates the closure of at least 200 of the 1,300 public schools.
Because there's too many buildings and there's not enough students. At one point we had 750,000 kids. So their buildings aren't filled to capacity. And that was part of the reason why we're going through the consolidation effort last year. We closed 167 schools to try and right size.
About 20 schools damaged in the storm are not expected to reopen.
We have no charter schools in Puerto Rico. We are not going to allow that to happen in our country.